Hey, this is the World Advice Channel too. What I want to talk about today is the reason why the Hodgetwins twins suck, okay? For that matter, okay? To be quite fair and blunt and honest with you, yes, the Hodgetwins twins, they suck, okay? When it comes to the message that they put out there, especially relating to black people, okay? Of course, okay? For that matter, okay? So let me explain the reason why the Hodgetwins twins sucks, okay? Why they suck, to be more exact. Okay, the reason why they suck is simply the fact that they spend all their time talking and criticizing black people and finding all these videos where black people do this and complaining about it and this and that, instead of realizing that literally all the behavior, bad behavior, ignorant behavior, as they would say, is literally actually the fault of white people, specifically, of course, white racists, and to be even more exact, the system itself, the racist system we live in. Okay, now let me explain, okay, so people don't get it twisted, okay? When you look at the history of America, okay, going back decades. It doesn't even take much research, I should say, if anything, especially with the fact that we have documentaries and videos you could look at on YouTube to pretty much just prove my point. Okay, America, it was in the past not just extremely racist; they did everything to fucking destroy black people. Okay, they have a history going back decades of trying to make our lives miserable, okay, even after slavery ended, and just doing everything systemically to figure out how to destroy us, for crying out loud, okay? They've been doing that for quite some time, okay? They've been doing everything from deliberately, if you look, do the research and stuff, from deliberately trying to prevent black people from getting good quality education, even after, of course, segregation ended. They have been trying to do that for years, trying to prevent them from getting good quality education, by doing all these sorts of things that they've been doing for quite some time, to prevent good quality education. They also have, things that they also did as well to also help make the situation when it comes to the black, lack of education of black community even, worse, from deliberately trying to exclude black people from better quality education, because just like Harvard has a long history of extreme racism, that they have to many different things, as well, aside from education, such as making sure that it's hard for black people to get good quality, housing and so on and so forth. Like, for fuck's sakes, America in the past literally built a highway through a successful black community just to make sure that black community did not succeed. Okay? That is the truth of the matter. Okay, for that matter, okay? Um they literally did that. I'm not even making this up. They did everything to make sure black people could not succeed. Okay? From poor quality infrastructure, and stuff, that they've been exposed for doing, like trying to segregate black people into certain communities, which obviously, if you're in a community that is already full of so much problems, it's harder for you to focus to get a good quality education, or I should say learn things for that matter. It's harder for you to be able to be focused when you're doing schooling. To, of course, no surprise as well, to also add to that as well, just their attempt to just simply destroy, I mean, a black people's attempt to get a good quality education by the many things. You can look up the history of it yourself. I don't even think I have to discuss it. America has a history of trying to exclude black people from getting good quality education, which, of course, those things contributes to a lot of the bad behavior that you see, the Hodgetwins twins and all those type of people, talk about in the black community, for crying out loud. That is the truth of the matter, especially when you also take in consideration as well that, of course, no surprise as well, that rap music itself has a history itself, let's be honest, has a history of being weaponized by powerful people. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true, but most likely it is true. It has been weaponized instead of talking about the struggle in a way that's talking about what I've been through to get here. They've made a whole industry talking about, um, you know, that's meant to glamorize being in the hood and all that type of stuff. So what exactly is my point? What exactly is my point is that the point the Hodgetwins are making is so fucking stupid. This whole argument that black people are bad and this and that, and being, of course, looking at them, they're obviously Uncle Toms by the way they speak and stuff. When you clearly are supporting a group of people, a lot of white people, I'm not saying a majority, but a lot of white people, especially the powerful white people, who have literally created a system that actually has created a situation for people to act the way that they do in that situation. So how can you complain about fucking something, by complain about something and prep up this other group of people, white people, when a lot of the things that they did, I ain't saying all of them, but a lot of them did, is actually the reason why black people act the way that they do, for crying out loud. Just like complaining about, oh, Native Americans are all drunkards and this and that. But who were the ones who created the schools in the first place to make them so traumatized that they have to take alcohol? And who was the one who gave them alcohol in the first place? Critical thinking here. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Because obviously, just like the Native Americans, it's the whites who created those situations for them. So what my point is that to hate on black people and criticize black people when a lot of the things that they are doing, that they're being critical of, is actually stuff that's a byproduct of the racist system created in the first place, literally makes no sense. And that's why the Hodgetwins are so stupid. And don't get me wrong, like, there is some things I have to admit black people can do better for. I'm a critical of a lot of the behavior a lot of black people do, but at the same time, we also have to realize it just makes no sense at all to, you know, to think in a way where it's like we are a problem, all of us are a problem, because of, like, of course, the theory of racism is that we're genetically stupid or this and that, when all of the behavior, at least for the black people who do that, the majority of them at least, is actually because of the environment that was created that help perpetuate that type of behavior in the fucking first place. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just like, what would have happened if Americans treated black people equally all the way back to the after the Civil War ended, or even for that matter, even going back decades to in the mid 20th century? Would a lot of these things have even happened in the first place? No. So it's like, just like the ghetto, they literally created a ghetto. Just like, why would they create a system where they had to put black people in these communities where they're isolated from society? And also, the idea, and also some of the things that they did, just like the crack cocaine epidemic, where literally Ronald Reagan pretty much just gave crack cocaine a free promotion when he discussed it on TV. TV, which is, of course, Ronald Reagan's white and he's a part of the, of course, system. So why the hell, for crying out freaking loud, can you blame people for acting the way that they do and saying it's because that's who you are, when a lot of the things, when it comes to how they behave, was actually created by the environment that was created for them by, of course, the racist system. It doesn't make any sense. And this is where critical thinking comes in the mix. And a lot of people in the world do not use critical thinking. And as long as people do not use critical thinking, things are going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. And a lot of people are going to fall for this alt-right crap that's been taking over the internet nowadays. When, in all honesty, literally all the problems you can imagine, even just why the world in general is unstable as it is nowadays, is actually the fault of the racist system that we have in the world. We have and we had in the past that was even worse than it is now, you know, especially with, of course, the British Empire and stuff that existed in the past. So, in short, to answer your question, the Hodgetwins are wrong because they blame black people for the behavior that they do, and you know, for the behavior that they do, they're unnecessarily critical when a lot of the people that they support, or I should say the people they support, white people, a lot of them help create the environment for that behavior to even happen in the first place. So that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. Okay, the Dodger twins are stupid because they don't realize that fact. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed it. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, I'm out. So bye.